So today I'm going to be talking to you about 2 of the 50 scientifically proven ways to be persuasive. And this comes from the book, Yes, 50 Scientifically Proven Ways to Be Persuasive. So the 2 points I'm going to talk to you about today are how the simplicity of a word can make it appear more valuable, and how rhyming can actually make what you have to say a little bit more influential. So first we're going to talk about simplicity. Simple, plain, minimal, however you want to say it, it is the best way to get your point across. A lot of famous speakers and top executives have used this method for their powerful messages, but what stuck out the most to people is that they were able to understand it. They weren't talking to them as if they were supposed to know the dictionary of words. According to research actually done by 2 social scientists, people tend to be able to relate more to words and names that are easy to pronounce versus those that are difficult. They argued that when it came to company names and stocks, those that were easier to read and pronounce, people were able to relate more positively, which means it was leading to higher stock prices and more money for those simple company names or stocks. So they did some experiments with fake stocks. They made up stock names that were easy to pronounce and ones that were really difficult to pronounce where I couldn't even read them out loud. I didn't even know how to say them. So what was interesting was the people predicted that the easy pronunciation stocks would outperform the others. So another study was done and they separated over 750 companies. And what they did was they took their stock symbol and they separated them and whether they were pronounceable or unpronounceable, and they found out that the investment in the first group would have outperformed the second group. So what they found was that the group that was able to pronounce, such as like if the stock was named KAR, you pronounce it car, was more, it outperformed the second group, which had stock symbols that were like RDO, so they were unpronounceable. So the biggest thing to take away is that you should not underestimate the power of simplicity, even when it comes to the name of your company, product, or initiative. So things like Apple, iPhone, the FedEx, or the company slogan, "Just Do It," or "Eat Fresh" from Subway. These are all really simple things, but they get the point across, and people are more likely to remember this. So the easier it is to read and pronounce, the more likely consumers, potential stockholders, and other decision makers will be able to view it positively. Researchers have also found that persuasiveness of a handwritten message is influenced by the quality of handwriting. So the worse the handwriting, the less persuasive the message will be. Readers mistakenly interpret the sense of difficulty they feel when they read a message with bad handwriting as a sense of difficulty, believing that the content of the message. Many people will say, okay, so I'll just type the message. Well, this goes for the same as fonts. The more complex, the more savvy you make your text, the less likely your point is going to get across. You want to use simple fonts such as Times New Roman or Cambria, however you say that one. So when using your language and knowledge of more complex words, people sometimes think that the more savvy and educated you sound, the better your point comes across, when in fact, it's really just shooting yourself in the foot. It's actually doing the opposite effect. So think about when you're watching a speech and you hear this person up there, using all these huge words. You're focusing your time, your energy and time on trying to figure out what they're trying to say rather than actually focusing on the message. So if you make sure your message is clear and simple for people will appreciate this and understand so much more. And isn't that what the whole point is of speaking a message? You don't want to speak and then people don't even understand what you're saying because they're too busy understanding what you're actually trying to say. So the next point we're going to go across is rhyming is beneficial. So loose lips sink ships. Gillette, the best a man can get. Click it or ticket. So why do organizations convey their messages with rhymes? Part of it is that rhyming messages are more memorable and they're easily repeated to others, which should come to no surprise to you. But a recent study shows that many people actually find that when the slogan or statement that rhymes, people believe and perceive it to be more accurate and truthful. So they put this to test, and an experiment was done where they took common slogans such as "Caution and measures will win you treasures," and they changed it to something like "Caution and measure will win you riches." And then they had their participants rate which of these were more accurate. Interestingly enough, researchers found that even though the participants strongly held the belief that there was no way that the rhyming indicated accuracy, they nonetheless perceived the statements that rhymed as more accurate. And this was explained by the researchers and scientists because they're mentally processed more easily than non-rhyming phrases. So you remember these, the slogans and stuff that rhyme more than the other ones, which you internally consider them to be truthful. They should consider, so when it comes to companies and stuff, they should consider that using rhymes may increase not only the likability of the message, but also it is perceived as truthfulness, studies have shown. So another good thing about rhyming is parents can actually use this when it comes to the very frustrating process of putting their kids to sleep. So nursery rhymes are a really great way to kind of engage with your younger daughter or son, and rhyming will prove persuasive to kids even when you have them sing along with you or say the slogans with you. So another really interesting fact actually was a legal setting where rhyming was influential was John Cochran's was O.J. Simpson's attorney, and one really famous quote that he said was, "If the gloves don't fit, you must acquit," during the trial. And researchers have actually gone through that trial and questioned how it may have gone if he would have said something like, "If the gloves don't fit, you must find him not guilty." It'd be interesting to see if that would stick with people as much as the first one did. So, like I said, the point of this is rhyming is very influential in persuading people. Thanks so much.